And welcome back to this episode of the workshop featuring Duelyst. Okay, so in the previous video, I talked about, the new Bloodborne spells, and they're pretty interesting and whatnot. And then I picked the deck that I would make because I found it very interesting, and that was Face Magmar. And Face Magmar seems to be doing quite well, quite honestly, and I guess the best way to keep understanding the new mechanics and the new meta is to just keep playing the game. So as I'm playing, I'm just going to be giving some analyses. Oh, that's pretty fast. I'm going to give some analyses as to why I'm making these plays and so on and so forth. If I'm not talking, it's usually probably because I'm thinking. So I'm sorry if there's going to be some dead air. Don't worry, I'm going to try to keep that to a minimum. So at the start of the game, we have a lot of heals. And this guy plays a lot of Abyssian and Vaynar. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Now we have a Dance of Dreams in the hand. I think this is an interesting start because I can get rid of these healing mystics and probably gain access to some of my 3-drops, which I really desperately probably want right now. But if I have these 2 low health minions in my hand, I can easily trade them off next turn with my Dance of Dreams. So we'll see how that strategy goes. Of course, if all else fails, I can just play these guys instead. He's playing with Duelyst, so he has Blink, which allows him to move a friendly minion up to 2 spaces, which can be quite devastating if you come to think of it. But maybe he's not running a backstab deck. Maybe it's just really bad. I don't know. I thought this ability was pretty bad when I was analyzing it, so we'll see. Primus Fist, we can put it here. Okay, that's interesting. Because I can just absolutely threaten him with this. Plus a Phalanxar. Note that I put the Phalanxar in the center. Putting this unit in the center does so many things, and I can't believe I haven't been doing this for a long time. But actually, it prevents your enemy general from just simply sauntering into the middle, and the middle is such an important position in the early game because it gives you access to both of these mana springs, and these mana springs can be very important when it comes to summoning, to making plays in the mid game or in the early game even. So it gives you a lot of tempo to get those mana springs. By controlling the center space, by even putting any unit there, it pressures your opponent to having some form of removal so he can saunter onto there. Don't let your opponent freely saunter into this middle space, trust me. Anyway, let's end our turn because our opponent might get mad at us. Okay, so we're drawing a lot of the heal units, which are really bad right now, but we'll see. I think this is value so long as you draw 1 card, right? I think, or maybe 2. But anyway, for him to remove this Phalanxar, he's gonna have to take 6 damage to the face, or find some way of removing it with another card. But if he spends a card to remove this, it's all gains for me. And you see he's now retreating. This is pretty good. He's probably gonna summon a Heartseeker or something. Nope, it's Kaido Assassin. Okay. Interesting. We get rid of a healing mystics because we're not gonna be able to use that. I guess the strategy now is to move my general here. Note that I didn't even bother go up here because I can't use my overload yet, and also because I don't need 5 mana, I only need 4 mana to do my play. And my play will be this. It's to give this 8 attack to go up here and give this 4 attack. So you can see that I'm just dominating this board. He's probably going to trade this into this, which is absolutely fine with me, quite frankly. I don't really mind. And so we end our turn and pass the turn on to our friend Zabu. Zabu? Or something, whatever. Oh, note also of this positioning. Note this positioning that I did, wherein I just lined up all my dudes. Because we don't want to get backstabbed. Okay, so that was like some intrinsic play that I was like doing in my head without even realizing it. But now that I've noticed my positioning, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally avoiding backstab with it. So make note to do those small plays, because again, in a game like Duelyst, positioning is really important. And note that, originally, no matter how I placed these guys, it would have been really hard for him to backstab with this Kaido Assassin without the aid of a spell. But now that, you have the Bloodborne spell Blink on Duelyst, it becomes actually quite easy to backstab any unit. So He can probably move the Kaido here and then do a blink over here, but I think that's a really bad play. He's just gonna Kaido there. He's probably gonna inner focus it, knowing Songhai. There we go. He inner focuses that. Oh, 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 and a missed Dragon Seal onto me. That'll deal 4 damage. That's not a lot. Is that it? I think that was a really bad play. Holy smokes, dude. That was a really bad play. Why does this only have... Is this only... Oh, I'm not reading my cards again. That was still a bad play because this can't attack anymore. Oh, that was really interesting. Well, I know what my play will be. So we can play this here. Yeah, okay, so we can't really go face a lot. Do we want to draw 1 card? Or do we want to overload? I think overloading is the way better play. Actually, we don't need to do that. Wait. Oh man, I'm being stupid. We overload and we draw a card. Of course. I apologize for like the slow plays. So we trade this into this, draw 1 card. That's absolutely fine with me. That's not bad. We overload me. We control this space. And we go face. We go face with everything, man. Enter. Okay. So I'm seeing that I'm not drawing a lot of my face cards. I'm not drawing any of those elucidators as well as none of those flame blood warlocks, so this could be a big problem. But I do have board control and I have 1 more attack than he does. So this puts a lot of pressure on him. And of course, I think that this cooldown doesn't tick if you don't use your overload spell, which means you can't partition it. So it's like if you're on like turn 2 or something, you can't like wait a turn, use it, and then be able to use it the next turn as well. So this basically means that if you want to make the most out of your overload, make most out of your Bloodborne spell, you have to keep overloading. Or you have to use it whenever it's available, basically. So this is an interesting conundrum that we have. We don't need this Song Weaver, and oh, well, it looks like I've just found a way to remove this, but I don't think I need to because I can just do this. Okay, so you know that this guy isn't really playing with a optimal deck because he's Songhai and he's running Provokes, which I find quite odd indeed. But nevertheless, note that I buff this instead of this because, you know, he'll basically be forced to trade into this one instead. I'm not sure if that's the best play because this opens me up for some backstabs, but we'll see. Also note how amazing this +1 attack was because instead of 3-shotting this Primus Shieldmaster, I am able to 2-shot it. That's really good. The next turn, my play is to trade something into this, equip Adamantine Claws, play Overload, hit him in the face. That'll deal 8 damage. Face! This Healing Mystic's actually a pretty good draw as well, because I'm starting to get low, quote unquote. That's like -8 health only, but against Songhai, around 15 or 12 is pretty low. So I guess I can keep myself topped off by using this Healing Mystic. But even and it also synergizes with my play because I can do this for 7 mana. So we'll see how it goes. He's obviously moving away from my units. Cyclone Mask. That's an interesting play. He's gonna hit. Oh, and he's gonna trade this. Okay. I see your game. Oh, or not? So you're leaving a 4-2. Oh, he's trying to do like over 2 turns damage. Okay, sure. If he has no play, he's cornered. A Gorehorn. Okay. This changes my play somewhat. Because I was planning to move this thing here in order to corner him. But now, this changes my play into doing this. Yeah. So that's 6 plus 1. Perfect. What's the place? Face is the place. I guess we can just put this here so that, you know, just in case, I guess. Okay, note that I'm putting this thing here instead of here. I know that this technically is a smaller space if I block him off like this, but I don't want him to hide behind the Gorehorn. So if he wants to leave, he has to leave this way, where his Gorehorn is not. So, as we can see, I'm starting to lose a lot of... I'm losing fuel. I basically am playing 1 card per turn. But that technically doesn't matter, because by this point, I have 4 basic attack on my general. So I just hit him in the face. So he has to basically stop me from hitting him in the face with anything. Because as long as one thing gets an attack off of him, this Saber Spine Tiger will finish him. Knowing that Songhai doesn't have a lot of heals, he's pretty wrecked, I think. Which is a sad, sad day for this man. Or woman, I don't judge. And, oh, okay, I think he's found a way to... Nope, he hasn't. Nope, he hasn't, because this just hits him in the face. So he has to cast 2 spells. Oh, 7 damage. It's okay, I win. Good game, Mr. Zabu. This goes into you. This goes into you. I go up here. 8 damage to face. Sad face 2. Sad face 2. That pretty much does it for this video, guys. If you guys like the analysis, do tell me. And again, I'm filming a lot of these straight after one another, so it might not. I might not be able to incorporate your feedback right away. But hey. I hope you guys liked this episode of the workshop. Without much else to say, don't forget to read your cards, because again, I didn't notice that the Primus Fists only give +2 attack for 1 turn now. Without much else to say, thank you and good night.